Hello friends, welcome to USA Top News. Let's get the latest news from all 50 states of America, including US politics, the White House, and all the important and breaking news in just a few minutes. Before that, please tell us in the comments which state or city in America you are watching this video from. And if you like the news, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. The US has claimed that China conducted covert nuclear explosive tests after the 2020 Galwan clash. According to U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Thomas G. DiNanno, China used decoupling to evade seismic monitoring. He specifically mentioned a test conducted on June 22, 2020, a week after the Galwan incident. The framework for an interim bilateral trade agreement between India and the U.S. is being finalized, opening up new possibilities. Former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Commerce Raymond Vickery said that India has adopted a more logical and well-planned process than most countries, prioritizing working on details rather than chaos. This approach even convinced Trump. The U.S. has issued an ordinance threatening to reimpose a 25% tariff on India's purchase of oil from Russia. Despite the recent trade deal, the U.S. will monitor India's Russian oil imports. In consultation with another senior official, the U.S. will monitor whether India has resumed direct or indirect imports of Russian oil, as defined in Section 7 of Executive Order 14,329. U.S. President Donald Trump has refused to apologize for a racist post against former President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. A video shared from his Truth Social account depicted the Obama couple in a derogatory manner. Following widespread criticism, the White House removed the video, but Trump flatly refused to apologize, calling it a staff error. The New START treaty between the U.S. and Russia expires on February 5, 2026. This agreement was for the reduction of strategic arms, and its termination has raised global security concerns. Russia has stated that both sides are no longer bound by the treaty. Later, with mutual consent, it was extended for another 5 years, making the New START treaty expire on February 5, 2026. The Russian Foreign Ministry stated, both sides are no longer bound by the treaty's provisions. U.S. President Donald Trump has lifted the 25% tariff imposed on India on oil purchases from Russia. This decision comes after India pledged to stop importing oil directly or indirectly from Russia and to purchase energy products from the United States. India has also agreed to enhance defense cooperation with the United States for the next 10 years. Specifically, India has promised to stop importing oil directly or indirectly from the Russian Federation. Tensions between the United States and Iran are at a peak. The Trump administration has directed American citizens living in Iran to leave the country immediately. The U.S. Embassy stated that citizens should plan their own evacuation rather than relying on the government. The embassy has advised citizens to plan their own evacuation without waiting for government assistance, as the situation could worsen at any time. Ahead of French President Macron's visit, the Ministry of Defense will discuss the purchase of 114 Rafale fighter jets for the Indian Air Force worth 3.25 lakh crore rupees. This proposal is crucial to meeting the IAF's operational requirements and addressing the shortfall of 42 sanctioned squadrons. Nearly 80% of the aircraft will be manufactured in India, strengthening the country's defense capabilities. The proposal will be discussed at a high-level meeting of the Ministry of Defense. The U.S. military on Tuesday shot down an Iranian drone that was aggressively approaching its aircraft carrier, USS Abraham Lincoln, in the Arabian Sea. The incident comes amid rising U.S.-Iran tensions, where U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened military action if a new nuclear deal with Iran is not reached. Central Command spokesman Captain Tim Hawkins said in a statement that the Abraham Lincoln Vast Space's Haven 1, the world's first private space station, is scheduled to launch in 2027. This compact and modular outpost will launch on a single SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. After the ISS retires in 2030, Haven 1 will mark a new chapter in space exploration and commercial activities. It will rely on the SpaceX Crew Dragon for life support, ensuring its reliability. NASA's Mars rover Perseverance successfully completed its first drive on Mars using commands given by Anthropic's AI chatbot Cloud. This is the first time a generative AI model has directly played a role in planning the movement of a rover on another planet. The process of providing these instructions is typically quite complex. These instructions are given manually after extensive calculations and planning. However, AI has simplified this task. Newly released files in the case of American philanderer Jeffrey Epstein have revealed thousands of mysterious messages involving Russian President Vladimir Putin. These documents have sparked a new theory that Epstein may have operated the world's largest honey trap by trafficking girls from Russia. The emails mention meetings with Putin and claims of Epstein's assistance in the Russian financial system, raising questions about Russian involvement. U.S. President Donald Trump announced a reduction in tariffs on India from 25% to 18%. The White House confirmed that an additional 25% tariff on India will also be lifted. This decision was made after India reduced its purchases of Russian oil. Under the agreement, India will completely stop purchasing Russian oil and will instead purchase oil from the United States and Venezuela. PM Modi also welcomed this announcement, now a senior White House official. The BLA in Pakistan's Balochistan claimed to have killed over 200 security personnel in Operation Harov Phase 2. This included 2 female suicide bombers, Hawa Balak and Asifa Mengal, who carried out major attacks on Pakistani security forces. The defense minister acknowledged the involvement of the female suicide bombers. This is being described as the largest attack in 2 decades, and the government is facing difficulty in dealing with it. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a reduction in the reciprocal tariff imposed on India. Trump announced this on his social media platform, Truth Social. Now, goods exported to the U.S. will only be subject to an 18% tariff. Trump said the United States would impose lower reciprocal tariffs, reducing them from 25% to 18%. Earlier, U.S. Ambassador to India Sergio Gore reported that discussions had taken place between Prime Minister Modi and Donald Trump. In Washington, Vice President J.D. Vance presented a strategy to create a critical minerals trading bloc to challenge China's monopoly. Its aim is to set a price floor for mineral prices through tariffs and protect member countries from China's market flooding. The Trump administration seeks to reduce dependence on China through initiatives like Project Vault, which will receive over $10 billion in funding for storing rare minerals. Global financial markets are experiencing significant volatility, putting pressure on everything from Wall Street to crypto. Uncertainty surrounding the U.S. Federal Reserve's monetary policy and interest rates has impacted risk assets. Bitcoin fell below $70,000 and Ethereum below $2,100. Experts believe this decline is due to fears of tightening Fed policies. Investors have been advised to monitor global cues and manage risk in crypto. President Donald Trump signed a spending bill, ending a 4-day partial government shutdown. This shutdown was caused by opposition to funding for the Immigration Enforcement Agency. The bill passed 217 to 214 in the House. Trump called it a major victory for the American people. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem announced that federal agents in Minneapolis will now wear body cameras. The U.S. government shutdown has ended.